The big problem with Rise and Iceborne? Broken difficulty? Discussion/fun? How dare you, RageGamingVideos? How dare you talk about my favorite Monster Hunter like this? I won't let you get away with this! Alright, in all seriousness, there are a couple of things that I want to address with this video about Rise. Now, I'm not attacking RageGamingVideos at all, I don't get that impression, it's just there are a couple of things that I saw in his video that I disagreed with, and I thought I'd make a video about it just because it's interesting to get different viewpoints, right? Fun/discussion. We're all having a discussion, we're having some fun here, so just, know that I'm right and he's wrong. Okay, cool. Alright, moving on. So I will link the video down in the description below if you guys want to watch his video to kind of understand what I'm talking about as well. But basically, to sum up the video for you guys, he's saying that with the introduction of camps in World, and Rise now by extension, that Monster Hunter has become significantly easier because you're allowed to restock your healing items at camps and essentially have infinite healing. So yeah, I think we can all agree that these quality of life improvements and conveniences have made more recent Monster Hunters easier because you do have infinite potions in a way, and the only way to really die, according to RageGamingVideos, is to either get combo locked like you're playing Street Fighter, or get hit by a big damage attack. Which is one of his points that I disagree with. You still have to time your heals right, that hasn't changed from the older Monster Hunters, just to make sure you don't get wombo comboed and cart, but I can sort of get on board with what he's saying here. I think being able to restock potions infinitely could maybe be a little egregious, and I can see why he views that as a problem, but let me explain why I don't really think it's that big of a deal in the grand scheme of things. So in order to do that, let's just focus on another one of RageGamingVideos' main points in the video. So he tries to present that those tense monster battles that are just so iconic in Monster Hunter, like anybody who's played Monster Hunter knows about it. You're on your last bit of health, you have no more potions left, and you know the monster's weak because he's been limping, and I don't know if I'm gonna make it, like I've spent so much time on this quest, but boom, you clutch it out. And he's saying that's no longer possible in World when compared to the older Monster Hunter games because of that ability to just infinitely heal. Which I personally completely disagree with. I've had my fair share of those tense moments in World, and they've been just as epic as any other Monster Hunter game. Not only that though, older Monster Hunter games give you the same option to infinitely heal as well. It's just not as accessible as World makes it. So let me explain the situation here. Let's start with World first. Just like any other Monster Hunter, you're still on a timer whenever you're doing a quest, right? So you've got 50 minutes, 3 opportunities to cart before you fail the quest, bada bing, bada boom, we all know this, right? Let's say you get weak fighting a monster in World and you gotta go back to restock. See, but that's kind of a double-edged sword, because when you're going back to restock, you better be sure that you did enough damage to the monster, because while you're running back to camp to heal, the monster's healing as well. Usually, if I had to go back to camp during a hunt, it resulted in a much longer fight, which made beating the monster with just a few minutes left just as intense as any other Monster Hunter. In the older Monster Hunter games, let's say that you were in that same situation, right? You get weak fighting a monster and had to run back to recuperate. While you might not be able to restock your potions or anything like that, but I mean, do you guys remember, I don't know, maybe a bed that you can just freaking belly flop on and get back to full health? No matter what, even if you're at 1 HP, and you could jump on the bed an infinite number of times too. So sure, you don't get to carry the bed with you, but I don't think it's unfair to say that the bed was also a source of infinite healing. And that's not even the only option that you could utilize to get more heals. You could go to gathering spots and gather herbs to get more heals out of those, and while you say, okay, well, herbs aren't the same as potions, well, you could also go gather blue mushrooms and then combine the two to make more potions. So while potions aren't as accessible as World made them, I think the more important resource that you have to manage within Monster Hunter games, both new and old, is your time. You're constantly running against the clock in Monster Hunter. If you perform badly and get hit by a bunch of stuff during a fight, you're going to spend less time dishing out damage and more time trying to heal yourself, which then creates that tense atmosphere of, am I going to be able to beat this thing in time? Infinite healing has pretty much always been present within Monster Hunter. I think Monster Hunter has always been more so about learning the monster's patterns so that you don't get hit as often. That way, the better you get at the monster patterns and just generally avoiding the monster's attacks, the quicker you're able to finish hunts. And that in itself is super rewarding, just to be able to say, man, I beat that monster in like 10 minutes when before it took me 30. I never really got much enjoyment out of just battles of attrition. If I ever ran out of potions during a hunt, it was because I was getting my ass absolutely beat into the ground. And at that point, I needed to reevaluate what I was doing or approach the hunt differently. I don't know about you guys, but from my personal experience, I would run out of time during a hunt much more often than losing due to my health. And even if I did end up carding 3 times, it was more so because I rushed trying to kill the monster because I was running out of time. Or if you're playing multiplayer in Monster Hunter World, Jesus Christ, you always are just gonna card 3 times at that point. And also, there are monsters in World that prevent you from going back to camp. Raging Brachydios, anyone? Remember when he pounds the earth in his second phase, and it's basically a cage match at that point? That shit was awesome. My mouth dropped when that happened. I was like, ah. The only way to get back to camp after that was using a Farcaster, and you can only have one of those. But I know this is kind of a weird example, because there weren't really any other monsters that did that in World, but I'm just saying it's another option that Rise could have to prevent people from going back to camp too much, even though I think the time limit does more than enough to prevent that problem anyways. But that's kind of just my response to the big problem that World has and could potentially be in Rise. I don't really think it's that big of a problem that needs to be solved, personally, but I would like to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. What do you guys think? Do you guys see this being a problem in Rise, or are you more so leaning toward how I view the situation? Come on guys, you know you see it like I do. You know I'm right, come on. But I'm looking forward to seeing what you all have to say, and lastly guys, don't forget to RageGang, smash that like button if you enjoyed, and subscribe for more content that I got planned in the future. Otherwise, Monster Hunter Rise is gonna be released in 2027. I don't know, I don't got nothing this time.